Hi, my name's Bob Willcutt. I've always been interested in working with wood and doing things like making model boats and model airplanes. And then when I got interested in guitar, I actually started playing in a folk group in Washington, D.C. back in the early 60s, back when folk was really popular. And at that point, there were some people that were starting to make some dulcimers, and they were making them out of everything from cigar boxes to, wooden pots or something. And then they got a little more advanced, and so it kind of stuck in my mind. So when I got my own shop, and I started building dulcimers in, I think it was it 71 or 72, and here's the first one I actually made. This is serial number 1. And the date on that is May 1st, 1972. So that was the official one. I did make these a little bit different. I used Kentucky woods. This is butternut and black walnut that was not steamed. This is raw black walnut. Because when they make furniture, they steam the wood so all the grain looks the same. Well, I like it so it's multicolored. Kind of looks like rosewood. And I also did construction a little bit different than most people. I wanted to keep them somewhat traditional, but not too much. The hearts are traditional, but they normally face the other way. Well, I thought they look better this direction because it kind of goes with the shape of the instrument. And the way that most people do it is they cut a channel in the headstock and tuck the sides in. Well, I went ahead and made the front and the back with a block and then cut it flush and then glued the headstock right on there, which just comes to kind of like a point. Okay, this one was made a little bit later and has a unique sound holes. It has spruce top, which spruce could have been from Kentucky. Walnut back and sides. It has boxwood tuning keys, which was from England actually. And I carved a lady's head in there. And because this was a fancier one, I spent more time cleaning out that channel in there, which you have to do with hand with file. So here's one that I started that never got used. It's rough cut with a bandsaw, drill press to do the basic routing, but then I'd use a chisel and files to smooth it out and then carve the top. This is another little thing that I like to do, is this little curve thing, almost a boat shape. I just think it looks kind of cool. Also, the inside of the necks are hollowed out, so the neck itself resonates. And once again, I've got nickel silver guitar fret wire, a little bit of abalone pearl inlay, and little fine tuners, which are something that I made these little wedges out of wood or ivory that you could, once you got the big tuners in, you could do the fine tuning moving these things. Now, this is the fanciest one that I ever made, and it has bird's eye maple, which is Kentucky wood, on the neck and the top. It has really nice, rich looking air dried walnut back and sides, curly maple down the middle. The headstock is curly maple. Like I said, all of these are Kentucky woods. The one exception are the tuners, which are rosewood because it's a much harder wood. The thing was, as we started cutting into the head, found a knot in the wood that was kind of hidden. So I ended up carving a rose, and it just fit perfectly, and that made the rosewood theme with the tuners like little roses. Sound holes are unique, and I submitted this to Fine Woodworking Design Book, which was a very prestigious magazine, especially at the time. In 1979, this dulcimer was chosen as the example of the best dulcimer at the time. It was so proud of that. And I was very proud that I was chosen to be in Gene Ritchie's Dulcimer book as a recommended builder. That was sometime in the 70s. And I did make one Sweetheart Dulcimer, which is really cool. That's where the necks are in two different directions, and you'd sit there with your knees interlocked with your friend, and you both could play with two necks and everything. That was pretty nice. I made one of those. The last dulcimers I built was around 85. Most of them were built between 72 and 79. And then I got a special order to do one in 89, and that was the very last one. It was serial number 50. At that point I stopped building. It was important to me that these actually worked. Some of the builders are just making them pretty, and some of them are prettier than what I do. I was very concerned about playing in tune and easy to play, which translates from my guitar experience.
And here we are, almost 50 years after he built his very first dulcimer. It's been really cool learning about my dad in this way, getting to know, something about him that I didn't know that much before. He's always been famous for guitars and his guitar shop, but I never really knew this part of his history. So that was really cool getting to learn that about my family, and then, actually getting to practice and play on his very first one. It's just a really cool thing, and even though I'm not as musically talented as the rest of my family, I still thought I could try and play something simple that still meant a lot to me and my family history. Amazing Grace was a lullaby that my mom always sang to me growing up, so I figured I'd try to play it here on my dad's first dulcimer.